The Romantic era of chess in the 1800s is known for its characteristic dynamic and aggressive playstyle. Players like Paul Morphy, Wilhelm Steinitz, and Adolf Anderssen, who is white in this game, were known for just playing very beautiful games that often had loads of sacrifices, but they remained active with their pieces and kept to the principles of the game and just overpowered their opponents, even if they were at a material disadvantage. That doesn't mean that the games were 100% accurate. There were often chances for both sides and missed wins for both sides as well, as we'll see in this game as well. But since there were no engines, there were no computers, there was not much established theory. Often the theory today is based on these kind of games hundreds of years ago. That it made it even better that these players were just playing on vibes pretty much. There wasn't too much theory for them to go off, and it's sort of a way to teach in beginners how it doesn't matter if there's not much theory, if there's not much, if your opponent knows more than you. All that matters really is if you stick to principles and if you have more initiative in the position. For example, in this game, it starts off with the King's Gambit, a very common opening in the Romantic era of chess. I pretty much play the King's Gambit as white against e5 most of the time, but pretty much because of this game as well, actually. I was taught this game when I was a lot younger, started playing chess, and it taught me a lot about how to use your pieces correctly. And the King's Gambit for me is one of the openings that just encapsulates the whole dynamic Romantic era of chess. And so after the King's Gambit accepted, which was played, this move, the Bishop's Gambit, King's Bishop's Gambit, was played. And the weakness of this, okay, it puts the bishop on this very nice diagonal, attacking this pawn. The weakness of this is that it allows this queen check, and after, you could say, oh, why can't you just take? Well, after something like this, you can't take back because this rook hangs, so you just lose another pawn. And so in this position, what you do is you come king f1, and the king is actually fairly safe here. After something like this, there's actually d4, and you gain a tempo, you open up the bishop. So the king is actually rather safe, and in positions like this, it's actually fine for white. And often this queen actually just gets attacked, as we'll see in the game. In this game, in this position, however, this move was played, b5. At the time, this was seen as a fine move, as this bishop on this diagonal was very powerful, and black wanted to essentially just get it off this diagonal. It's very similar to an idea in the Evans Gambit, another idea that was popular at the time, another gambit that was popular at the time, where after something like takes, and then you would get this big center. However, in the Evans Gambit, the queen remained behind the pawn and so could support the push on d5. Whereas here, after this exchange, it is white that has the advantage, and this bishop is an absolute monster in the middle of the board. So these days, this pawn push isn't seen as a great move, but back in the day, it was seen as fine. This game was played, by the way, in 1851, so 170 years ago, over 170 years ago. So, like I said, the theory was very different. After after capturing this pawn here and a developing move, attacking this pawn, white says, I don't care that you're attacking my pawn, I'm going to attack your queen. So this queen has to move. Like I said, this knight move often comes with tempo on the queen when this queen comes out, which is a downside of developing the queen like this too early. So, black moves the queen back to protect this pawn. And after d3, which opens up this bishop and puts this x-ray attack on the queen, black comes knight here, which looks like an all right move. It defends this pawn again, even though it was already being defended. But it also threatens knight g3, which after here, let's say white plays something random. After here, you can't take because that pawn is pinned and you are down an exchange. So, yeah. However, the downside behind this move is that black is already moving another piece twice. They've already moved their queen twice, and now they're moving their knight twice. all of these pieces back here haven't moved yet. And so it would be better to, I don't know, move this bishop here, for example, or pretty much anything, just getting any other piece out. Knights on the rim are dim is another saying that a lot of people use, because here, in the middle of the board, the knight can attack 8 different squares, and a knight on the rim can only attack half as many. So yeah, knights on the rim are dim. Remember that. So to prevent against this knight g3 threat, white comes here, which after here, now we could take, and well, let's get on the board, and can no longer take because the knight's in the way, and you can't take this because it's being protected, and you can't take here because of this little pin. So lots of layers already to the position. That wasn't the move played, that was here. And black decides to attack this knight by coming queen to g5, and white simply just puts the knight in the middle of the board. This knight was dim on the rim, and now it's a very, very nice piece attacking these key squares, and it's already a much better piece than this knight. Note how black can't do this same maneuver because it has its own pawn there, which came on move 2. In this position, black decides to play c6, attack the bishop. It's not really great. It's not really a great move since this bishop wasn't doing much here. A better try would maybe be something like g6, which attacks this knight. This knight is a much better piece than this bishop, so trying to get rid of this knight is going to be more effective, because in chess, if your opponent's piece is on a good square, you want to remove that piece from the good square, and this knight is on a good square, so g6 tries to remove it. But after a move like this, and in this position, white goes for g5, that's g4, pawn to g4. Again, you can't take en passant because the queen would hang, and if you take here, we'll just take the bishop. That's a knight, just take the knight. I can't think today for some reason. Anyway, so in this position, black moves their knight back, and you would think that white would move their bishop because it's under attack. However, white opts to develop their rook onto this file, x-raying on the queen, and after captures, which seems like a fine move, white is actually already, despite being a piece down, a whole piece here, white is already in a better position since this activity is already enough compensation for the piece. Adolf Anderssen presses this advantage and keeps developing, keeps putting pressure on the opponent's pieces, and after this move, the queen is all of a sudden very claustrophobic as it only has 1 square remaining, and keeps pushing, and the queen is again forced to come back here. And after here, this queen is very nearly trapped. It's in fact, after this bishop takes here, it will be trapped. And so black all of a sudden needs to create a square for this queen. The only way to create a square for this queen is to move this knight. And since this knight is just completely trapped, it's only got 1 move, and that's back to its original starting square. In fact, the computers that we have these days think that black in this position should just give up the material advantage that they have for a little bit of activity and keep pressing. However, in this position, black very sadly just puts this piece back on its starting square, and just look how awful this is. This is awful. And after white takes here, again developing another piece, look at all of these very beautifully developed pieces. Black only has 2 options. Come back to the starting square or come back here to f6. And if you come back to the starting square, this is just awful. This is what basically sums up the Romantic era of chess. Like, this is just awful. And so instead of doing that, black comes to f6 with their queen, trying to keep their queen developed a little bit. And after here, all of the pieces, apart from these rooks, are in the game here for white. And again, all these pieces are just completely snoozing. And so black tries to develop, attacking this rook. And so obviously white tries to move the rook out of the way. Wrong. The Romantic era of chess, like I said, didn't really care about material. They didn't really care about the advantages that came with all this piece activity. And so in this position, Anderssen gets more tempo by developing the knight even further, even closer to the king. And again, what we spoke about before with these octopus knights attacking 8 squares. Look at these 2 knights. Look at all these squares that they're both covering. just the absolute control, just controlling more squares in total than pretty much any piece that black has. It's just a disgusting just display of knights in the middle of the board. And so here, this queen has to move, obviously, and so it comes here, attacking another rook. So again, white defends that rook, right? Wrong. In fact, in this position, Anderson plays this move. It's not seen as a perfect move in this position, and in this position, white should play something like this, and after here, instead of taking this rook, just come here, and this, even though you can take here, then you can take here and win it back. And this is seen as, I mean, there are obviously still chances for white. However, the material advantage that black has should be able to convert in this sense. However, in this position, Anderson got a little bit greedy. Not Anderson, Kuzetsky got a little bit greedy and took here. And so white again wanted to take back, obviously. No, incorrect. You haven't been paying attention. Please keep paying attention. He didn't really care about this piece, or indeed this piece, and so he plays this move, which seems, fairly strange. Why would you push a pawn in this position? Well, this queen is actually providing very important defensive duty on this diagonal. It's preventing this knight here from taking on g7. And after takes, well, why wouldn't you take this free rook? And here, all of a sudden, there are no checks in the position for black. And there's no way that black can actually defend against knight takes here. And so in this position, there's actually a very nasty threat. Say black plays any move. There's a very nasty threat of this, which is checkmate. And this just looks absolutely disgusting, right? And so in this position, black thought... in this position, black thought that they have to defend this square by coming here. I'll show you why this isn't a good move in just a second. When actually the move that they should have played was this, which actually gives this square for the king. Because after now, something like this, this is actually, I think this is still a better position for white, but this is a lot better than what was played in the game. As after here, there is actually a forced checkmate now. Now, black thought that this is fine, as after here, they can actually just take, and this is fine. Okay, this rook might be hanging, but they've just taken both of white's rooks, and so that's fine, right? However, black missed this very, very nasty trick in this position. So if you want to pause the video, I'd encourage that. There's a very nice checkmate, forced checkmate pattern with a deflection. So yeah, go ahead and pause the video. Cool, great. Well done for pausing the video and finding after, again, it was this knight move. And after here, there isn't this bishop check. There isn't this bishop check. However, there is this queen sacrifice. Oh, absolutely filthy. What Immortal Game wouldn't be complete without a queen sacrifice? And there are two moves. You could come here and lose to checkmate this way. Or you could take the queen, okay, fine, and lose to checkmate this way. Oh my days. White has 3 pieces left on the board, and all 3 of them are being used in this absolutely disgusting checkmate. Oh my god, this is filthy. This is romantic chess at its finest. Look at all of these pieces here for black in this position. White noticed that all of these pieces, okay, while black has a material advantage, all of them are on the edge of the board. 4 of them are on their starting squares. These are doing absolutely nothing here. And like I said at the start, the era of chess where it was just known for piece activity and just beautiful games and beautiful sacrifices like this. In fact, maybe he didn't see this queen sacrifice, and Anderson, but just knowing that having this activity will create sacrifices such as this one. And let me just get that on the board again, because oh my days, that is beautiful. That is why we play chess in a dynamic way, and hopefully this is educational for you to show you that you don't need all of this material advantage to play a good game of chess. You don't need to be a pawn up, or if you go a pawn down, you can still play a very good game of chess. And in fact, in some positions, going a pawn down creates advantages for you because it can open up all these different lines that you didn't have before. So yeah, I hope you guys found that game educational, instructional, entertaining, whatever. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the links in the description, my Instagram and my coaching. Yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments of this all-time great game. And yeah, thank you and goodbye. I'll catch you in the next video. Mwah!